Mrs. Cook, do you mind holding on to these keys for me real quick? I'd just like to show you a few things about this car. So, with this Forester, this is the one with the power rear gate that you did ask for. It's part of the convenience feature on this one. Also, you will have Harman Kardon in this one. Plenty of room. Your spare tire is back here, but you do have roadside assistance for 3 years, 36,000. So anytime, most of the time, you probably won't have to do this. And with the Starlink that you're going to get with us, for 3 years, you will be covered for roadside assistance. All you have to do is hit the blue button. All right. So after that, then you might have to do it, or somebody will help you on the side of the road. You have also access right up here for the liftgate. You can lock it, so if you went shopping, just drop them off bags. You could always hit this, and it'll lock the vehicle. Or you could just close it without locking it, so you don't lock yourself out. All right. So let's close this real quick. Another thing I want to show you on this side. You did mention you did have kids. So the one thing I do want you to notice is how wide the door opens. The other thing I want you to notice is, you see this bar right there? That actually goes up and across. There's also another one that goes here, all about safety. These are meant to actually fold out instead of into the cab, all about safety. Subaru's has a ring-shaped frame to help with rigidity and also with crashing. So this is always a 5-star crash test, 5-star plus when you have eyesight. All right. Now with that key of yours, can you do me a favor? Since it's a keyless, do you mind pressing the 2 little dots right there? Do you know what that does? It locks the vehicle for you. Now just to go back inside, so you don't have to take it out of your bag, your pocket, or anything else, just put your hand right inside and it'll open up the door for you. Now would you mind sitting inside for me real quick? So this is multi-adjustable, so you can actually adjust your seats. This will go down, up. This is moving the front part of it for your legs. So this way, if you ever get tired in your thighs, you could always do that. You have your lumbar support. You on the ear, so do you see that glossy part on both sides of the mirrors?
Yep.
That's your blind spot detection. So if somebody's in your blind spot, it'll light up. If you actually have your blinker on and somebody's in your blind spot, it's going to blink at you really fast, basically yelling at you saying, don't do it. All right. Over here, you could also open up the trunk along with your key. So if you hold down your key for about 4 seconds, it'll open it up. Steering responsive headlights, so when you take each turn, it'll actually turn with you. So this way you can see in areas that normally you wouldn't be able to see. Over here is the brightness of the interior lights at night, or brightness of the interior lights on the dash. You could always lower it if it's annoying. Down here, stability control, you want that on 99.9% of the time. The only thing I'm thinking that you want to turn it off is when you go to those old-fashioned car washes, because the car's not going to want to go forward. This right here is the auto start stop. It's there to lower your carbon footprint. It actually turns off the vehicle at lights, at stops, but a lot of people hate it. You can turn it off, but only for each drive. The other thing a lot of people don't realize is that if it turns off, all you have to do is put a little bit more pressure on the brake. It'll start right back up again. All right. Then right here is your blind spot detection. So if you ever wanted to turn that off, you can. All right. This right here is your controls for your windows. So if you have a dog or anything else, you could actually lock the windows. So this way their paws won't bring it down or they won't close it on themselves. All right. Now, this right here is for the hood. Would you mind coming with me real quick? So under here, there's a little latch right in between the 2 stars, the bottom 2 stars. So once you do that, what I do want to show you is, do you see how it sits lower in the area? They do that for a couple reasons. One is lower center of gravity. The other one is this motor is designed to go underneath the cab instead of into the cab on a frontal crash. These ripples and everything else are all here for a reason, to absorb that crash if it ever happens. So this way, this will take the power of the crash and not inside the cab. Another thing, Subaru says, well, Subaru doesn't say, I say it. If it's yellow, it's the basic things that you're going to use and refill. You have your brake fluid, windshield wiper fluid, oil, coolant overflow, and your lovely dipstick. That's easy. There's no transmission. It's a closed system. It's a CVT system. That's continuous variable transmission. Now, Now, would you like to go back in front and I can sit in the passenger side and I'll show you what some of the buttons do?
Sure.
All right. Do you mind unlocking it for me? Thank you. All right. Now put your foot on the brake. It'll turn green. All right. See, that's not that bad. I know you said you didn't like it, not having a key, so.
Weird, right?
Now, I already turned on the heated seats first, so that'll eventually get there. Now, what I do want to show you on this side is mainly your radio and your phone. On this side is your eyesight and your lane centering. And what this is, Sport Sharp and Intelligent. It's throttle response. So this way, Intelligent is always better gas mileage. Sport Sharp is a little bit faster throttle response. So if you like driving a little aggressively around corners, that'll give you that opportunity. This right here will turn on the eyesight. This is a closed eyesight stereo system. And then this also has the new feature where if a car was partially in your lane and you weren't paying attention, it will actually move out of the lane for you because the sensors will sense if there's another car on that side where you could actually safely make that maneuver. All right, which again, the car will do it for you, so a lot of it you don't have to worry about. So right here, do you see the bars in front of the car?
Yes.
That's the distance between you and the car in front of you on adaptive cruise control. So it just makes cruise control a lot better. So when you're on the highway, you're doing, say, 70. I'm not saying you're breaking the law or anything, but if you're doing 70, you want to keep it at 70. This will keep you at the distance you set. So if they're doing 70, you could be doing 68, and it'll keep you at that distance. But once they move out of the way, it goes back up to the same speed that you had set previously. All right? This right here will lower that. So if you're in New York in traffic, you want that on.
Yep.
If you're in Vermont, you want the 4. So this way it gives you more of a distance. I don't like saying car distance, just because if you're doing 90 miles per hour, those are not car distances, so don't think of it that way, okay? Now, over here are your easy controls, because I know you said you hated a lot of electronics. So with this, just turn it on and off. Your controls are right up here, left and right. So this is your temperature. See how it's syncing together? If you want, you know, like my wife, I have to be cool on my side, she has to be hot on her side. So you could adjust that accordingly with this, because this has dual zones. This is your fan speed. This right here is for rear defrost, your mirrors, and your windshield wiper de-icers. So there's a little element underneath the windshield wipers that'll help melt it in the winter time. And this right here is front defrost. Did you ever have your front windshield fog up at all?
Of course.
So once that happens, no matter what you had your heat previously set to, it actually pushes everything to the front, and then it'll quickly get rid of that. Once that's done, you hit this, it goes back to previously what you set without you having to do it. Now, down here, do you notice how this says M? So that's manual mode. So you'll see a positive and a negative on that side. So this way, if it's snowing and you're on Chesterfield Hill, you know, you're worried, there's snow on the ground, you want to keep it in 3rd gear going down that hill, you could actually do that with that. Now, if it's in manual mode, you're in full control. So if you hear it revving up, that's your fault. All right. So this way, it's, you know, you could always go forward. So on there, you'll see it change once it's in park. The other thing is, if it's in drive, you could still use the paddle shifts. So if you're coming off the exit, you could use it to help save your brakes if you'd like, or just a more control when you're turning. Right over here is your parking brake. Everybody says there's no lever. No, but it's the same movement. So if you're going up, that's what turns it on. All right. And then for you to turn it off, no matter what you do, you can't turn it off, right? You have to put your foot on the brake and then push it down. Remember what I said about movement, pushing it down? Yeah. AVH, auto vehicle hold. So if you look on the right-hand side, top right-hand side right over there, and it says AVH. So what that is, if you're taking a long drive and you get off the highway, your leg is hurt, it's sore. If you have that on and you're at the light, you can actually take your foot off the leg, stretch it to stop driver fatigue. All right. Then over here is the multi-mode X mode. So if you turn it to the left, see how it says snow and dirt? So this will lower the gear ratio and put you in a lower gear ratio to help you get out of those positions. If you go to this one, it's more extreme. So the gear ratio will be even lower. So this is deep snow and mud, because you need to get out of wherever you're at, and that's why you have that there. And to turn it off, just hit straight down and it turns it right off. All right, and you have USBs here, power outlet here. The USBs here are for your radio area. So this way, if you have an Apple or an Android, and I saw that you did have a Android, not many people do, but this also has Android Auto, which will have 90% of your screen on this screen. You could also use Google Assistant, which makes driving easier just by holding down this voice feature when you have it plugged in. On some of the vehicles, they have wireless, but this one, as of right now, is not wireless.
Interesting.
All right. And then up here, this will turn off the eyesight. So you notice how they're all turned off right now?
Mm-hmm.
So if you hold it down until you hear a beep, you see how it says off on the left?
Yep.
And then if you do it again, so everything is normally on by default. But for some reason, everything off is on. Now, is this a comfortable position for you right now?
No.
All right, so on your bottom left, you feel a lever. You can push that down. Now you could actually bring it up and down and telescope it towards you or away from you if you like. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. Of course, you don't have to figure it all out right now, but something comfortable for the test drive, okay?
Sure.
All right. Now, this is just a basic. I don't want to go over too much. I learned over the 9 years that if I talk too much, it usually goes in the ear, one ear and out the other if I go too much. But what I want you to know is that I'm always here for you. And if you have any questions in the meantime, don't ever be shy. Even if we have to do a second class, we could always do that. Okay?
Awesome.
Let's go for a ride.
Thanks.